I want to take the time to talk about this 6-pointer. I killed that 6-pointer in 2008 in Gloucester County. And it's a really cool story behind that 6-pointer. My whole life I've hunted Sussex and Surrey County, and I live here in Gloucester County. And at that time I had never killed a deer in Gloucester County. And in 2008, I was 40 years old, so I had been hunting over 25 years and never killed a deer in Gloucester. Anyway, like I said, I've always hunted Sussex and Surrey, and at that time I had lost my land in Surrey, and the gas prices were so high we kind of stopped going down Sussex for a while. And that particular year I didn't have nowhere to hunt, and I met a friend of mine. Well, he was a friend, but I talked to a friend of mine and asked him could I deer hunt here in Gloucester, close to my house. And the funny story is, I met this guy at the farm on a Wednesday, and I never forget it. I had a pair of Crocs on, and we walked around the field, and he was showing me the property lines, showing me his land, and that was Wednesday afternoon. And so I took my friend Timmy Brown and myself, and we go there the first time we ever went in the woods, Friday, 2 days later. And when we pulled up to the farm, I looked at Timmy. I said, I don't know, I've never scouted the piece of land, I don't know where to go. I said, where do you want to go? I said, you want to take the left side or take the right side? And basically what we was going to do is just pretty much climb a tree and just do some scouting, see what came to the field and all that good stuff. Anyway, Timmy chose the left side and I chose the right side. So on my end, I went 15 yards in the woods and climbed up a tree so I could see the field. And I got all ready to hunt at 3:15. And at 3:30, my buddy Timmy calls. Now he's supposed to be hunting on the left side. Well, he calls and he said that he couldn't find no tree by the field. So he wanted to tell me that he was going to go about 40, 50 yards behind the field on the left side. And I said, no problem. Well, when I hung the phone up, I had been in the tree 15 minutes. When I hung the phone up, I could see deer legs standing underneath a beech tree. And I looked, and I just couldn't believe my eyes when this buck stepped out. Like you say, he's 28 and a half inches. And when I saw him, he was over my right shoulder. And I didn't want to turn to scare him. And so he started walking behind me. And I'll never forget it. I was like, please, please let me kill this deer. Nobody would believe me how wide this thing was. So when the deer got by me, I turned and I shot him. And he fell on the ground. Anyway, my buddy had gone 20 yards in the woods, and he called and said, what in the world did you shoot? I said, Timmy, to come on quick, and that I shot this 30-inch deer. So in the meantime, I called my dad, and he was hunting in Eastern Shore, Virginia. Anyway, here comes Timmy, and I hadn't even loaded the muzzleloader back. And as Timmy was walking around the field, I looked, the buck tries to get up. So that's when the panic mode hit. I tried to load that thing, I was shaking, and I finally got it loaded. And Timmy was like 30 yards from me, but I had to shoot the deer again. He was trying to get up. So when I shot him, I scared Timmy so bad because the shot was so close. And he said, what'd you shoot? So anyway, I said, Timmy, come over here quick. I said, man, he's 30 inches wide. Well, when the deer was laying on the ground, the rat came up like that. It was just unbelievable. So when Timmy saw it, he couldn't believe it. He said, oh my God. Anyway, so the moral of the story was that was my first deer in Gloucester County. I lived here my whole life. And I shot that deer at 3:30. We got him back to the truck, I would say 4:15. And as I was riding down the road, the rack stuck up above the truck. I had people blowing the horn, and I was pulling off on the side of the road going down 17. and showing people the buck. But anyway, the news traveled fast. I shot that buck 28.5 inches wide back in 2008. And that was actually my third deer I mounted. And I would say that was the start of me deer hunting, mounting some deer. But anyway, Derek, I know we've been hunting together quite some time. We've killed some nice bucks together. We went to Kansas together, but I always liked that 6-pointer, 28.5 inches wide. And this buck has been on the internet. I believe the guy's name is Mike Hanback. He had a hunting show, and I actually talked to him, and I sent him a picture of that wide 6-pointer, and he actually put it on his web page, and that buck circulated through the internet for quite some time. So I haven't seen a lot of wide deer in Virginia. I think somebody had killed one, 33 inches one time in Virginia. Mm-hmm. So, but I was very fortunate to kill that deer. What you think, Hall?
Well, it's amazing how they get down through the woods when you got that much headgear, you know?
Yeah.
When that wide.
Yeah.
He had to pick his way along.
Yeah. Mm. And the funny story about this, and another funny story, I moved about 4 years ago, and I actually moved within a half a mile where I killed that deer at. So I have 6 acres of land, and I've yet to see a deer on my 6 acres. So I guess I was very fortunate to kill him.
Did anybody, people knew he was around?
Yeah, I think Jeremy Haley and Vinnie Lee had seen that deer. Mm-hmm. Jeremy Haley from Gloucester and Vinnie Lee from Gloucester had hunted that piece of land, and they had seen that deer that year, and or maybe the year before, I can't remember, but they had seen that deer. Yep. But a few years later, somebody did kill another wide one up in that same area, probably about a mile away. So, well, this is the 6-pointer, 28.5 inches wide. I killed it in 2008. But he was a pretty deer, killed in Gloucester County.